People of the State of Michigan versus Wesley Halsey. These are files 2023595 and 2023596. Mr. Halsey is here today on video with his attorney, Mr. Knopfsinger, and Mr. Gabriel is the prosecutor. These cases were set for a status conference on May 3rd. Mr. Halsey did not appear at that time, and we cited on the record that I would wait 48 hours in order to find out if Mr. Halsey contacted his attorney before I issue a warrant. And he did contact his attorney, and so we set it for today, and we are ready to proceed with the status conferences, but I'm told that this matter is going to be resolved with a plea. Is that correct, Mr. Knopfsinger?
That is, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Halsey, if you'd raise your right hand.
Yes, sir.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And Mr. Gabriel, I know you just did it off the record, but I need you to do it again. In file 2023595, I have an amended information. Is there any objection to that being filed, Mr. Knopfsinger?
None, Your Honor.
All right, and so that's added a count of larceny in the building as a habitual second. And Mr. Gabriel, what's the offer in that file?
In that file, Your Honor, if Mr. Halsey's plea is accepted to count 2, we will dismiss count 1 in the habitual offender notice.
And then in file 2023596, what's the offer in that case?
Mr. Halsey enters a plea of guilty to 1 count of assault, resist, or obstruct a police officer. The additional counts, all rest of the counts in the supplemental information will be dismissed.
Is that correct, Mr. Knopfsinger?
It is, Your Honor.
And let me see real quick. Would also be anticipated these cases would run concurrent with each other. I don't know if it's a potential consecutive, but do you have any objection to them running concurrent, Mr. Gabriel?
I do not, Your Honor.
All right, so they can run concurrent with each other.
Correct.
All right, so Mr. Halsey, in file 2023595, the offer is that you plead to a charge of larceny in a building, a felony punishable by up to 4 years in the Department of Corrections and or a fine of up to $5,000. If you plead to that in that case, and if you plead in file 2023596 to a charge of assaulting or resisting or obstructing a police officer, a felony punishable by up to 2 years in the Department of Corrections and or a fine of up to $2,000, the other counts would be dismissed, and the prosecutor has agreed to recommend that they run concurrent with each other. And all the other counts would be dismissed in both files along with the habitual offenders notices. Now, is that your understanding, Mr. Halsey?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in file 2023595, on the charge of larceny in a building, a felony punishable by up to 4 years and or a fine of up to $5,000, how do you plead?
Do I have a moment to talk to my lawyer? Does that mean I will get jail time or will I get probation?
We don't know that yet. We wouldn't know that until you came back for sentencing.
Okay.
You want to talk to Mr. Knopfsinger for a moment?
If I could, please.
Sure. ready to proceed?
Yes.
Okay, sir.
Okay, you good now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm all right. I'll go ahead and plead guilty to that first account.
Okay, so again, how do you plead to that charge?
Guilty, sir.
And in file 2023596, on the charge of assaulting, resisting, or obstructing a police officer, a felony punishable by up to 2 years and/or a fine of up to $2,000, how do you plead?
The same as well. Guilty, sir.
Okay. Has anyone promised you anything other than what we've talked about in court today to get you to do this?
No, sir.
Anybody threaten you to make you do this?
No, sir.
Are you doing this of your own free will?
Yes, sir.
And you understand that in both cases, if I accept your pleas, you'll be giving up the right you would have had to a trial, and you'd be giving up all the rights you would have had at trial. Those include the right to be tried by a jury, to be presumed innocent until proven guilty, to have the prosecutor prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty, to have the witnesses against you appear at trial, to question those witnesses that appear against you, to have the court order witnesses you have for the defense to appear at trial, to remain silent during the trial and to not have that silence used against you, and to testify at trial if you want to testify. You understand you're giving up all those rights?
Yes, sir.
Well, there was some hesitation there. Did any of them you didn't understand? It's a little confusing.
No,
All it means is you understand that by pleading guilty, you're not going to have a trial.
yes, sir.
So you're not going to, cross-examine witnesses. You're not going to be presumed innocent. I have to be satisfied that there's a factual basis from what you tell me that you're guilty, but it's just me. I'm not a jury, so that would be it. But you understand you're giving up everything that a trial entails by pleading guilty to these.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you also understand that if your plea is accepted, you may be giving up the right to appeal certain issues that would otherwise be appealable if you were convicted at trial? Further, any appeal for your conviction and sentence to the plea would be by right, or would be by leave and not by right, as if you went to trial. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, let's talk about these, because now we have to establish a factual basis. So in file 2023595, it alleges that on August 23rd, 2019, you were in the village of Constantine, the county of St. Joseph, in the state of Michigan. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
And that at that time you did commit the crime of larceny in a dwelling house by stealing a wallet. Did you go into a home or a dwelling house there in Constantine on that date and take somebody's purse or wallet?
Yes, sir. I wasn't
Okay.
meaning to do all that, though. It wasn't my intentions.
Well, what does that mean? Did you grab the purse?
Apparently, yes, sir. Like I said, I went to a restaurant and got some breadsticks that they donated to me, and I felt laced or something, and then that's when it all started.
Okay, well, you understand that by pleading guilty, you're giving up any defenses that somehow you were drugged by a local restaurant that put something in your breadsticks. You're
Yes,
giving
sir.
up that potential defense by pleading guilty to this.
Yes, sir.
Okay? And you do admit that whatever condition you were under, you did go into the home and take the purse.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are counsel satisfied that a factual basis has been established by the defendant's statement of facts?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
And in file 2023596, here it's alleged that on or about 12/21 of 2019, you are now in the city of Sturgis, county of St. Joseph, in the state of Michigan. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
And here it's alleged that you did assault, batter, wound, resist, obstruct, oppose, or endanger either Sergeant Noel of the Sturgis Police Department that you knew was performing his duties at the time, or Deputy Zach Radke, Deputy Sheriff of the county, that you knew was performing his duties at the time. What happened that makes you guilty of that?
I'm not sure what you mean, sir.
What did you do to the officers when the officers came there on that date? What happened that makes you guilty of resisting or obstructing a police officer?
For not calmly getting in the police officer's car, I guess.
Okay, so they were taking you into custody and you didn't cooperate completely in getting into the vehicle. You resisted their attempts to get you in the vehicle, and thereby you interfered with their duties as police officers by failing to follow their lawful commands.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are counsel satisfied that a factual basis has been established in that case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Are either counsel aware of any other promises, threats, or inducements for either case?
No, Your Honor.
No.
Has the court complied with the court rule?
Yes, Your Honor.
It has.
I find the pleas made are accurate, understanding, voluntary. There's a factual basis. Therefore, I accept the pleas. Set this for sentencing on July the 2nd. Mr. Halsey, we're going to send you that material to your address that we talked about, the packet and the DNA order. Make sure you get those filled out and returned as soon as possible. Get the DNA order done by the Sheriff's Department in Centerville. And then we'll be ready for sentencing on July 2nd. And be in touch with Mr. Knopfsinger so that we don't have you miss another court date, okay?
Okay, yes, sir.
Good deal.